All right, we got more information about MLB The Show 24, and this week was all about Road to the Show. For this video, I think I'm going to be more just kind of talking about things rather than going into the deep depths about what they showed off, what specifically everything is. I think we're just kind of go more a little on the lax side and just talk about all the different things. So the first thing that they really talked about was about the high school and the college stuff. You're going to start in high school like you did the last time. But this time you're going to have a few more games, it sounds like. Since there are more colleges in the game, they want to give you a few more games to actually be scouted by, some of the bigger ones. So I think that's a pretty neat addition. I'm cool with that. So after you play through the high school stuff, you're going to obviously choose like you did before, whether you're just going to want to go straight into the minor leagues or you want to go into potentially a college. Each college will have their own different type of package. Some of the colleges will have a silver package and some colleges will have gold packages. The chances of getting to a college with a gold package will be a little bit harder since those are the colleges that are more typically more well known and bigger and will just give you better perks and better abilities and more tokens and all of that stuff. But once you actually do get into college, you're going to be playing through the College World Series, which is going to be a double elimination where if you do happen to lose, you still get another chance as you try to make your way all the way up to the championship. Once you do make it to the championship, that's going to be a best of 3. Everything else is going to be a one and done. But if you so choose to, because there's that possibility that you don't win the College World Series, you can decide that in your senior year, you could come back to college and try again. Which is a nice little thing for that. If you are doing really well, your team's not doing great, you get 0-2'd from the get-go, of course, you're probably going to want to go right back in there and at least try again to try to make it to the College World Series championship. But hey, it's nice to have that option if you want to be able to play a little bit more in your college years instead of just going immediately to the minors. However, when you do get to the minors, there are going to be goals that you're going to be getting from the very get-go. The second that you're in the minors, you're going to have goals that will be chosen for you from your manager, your coaches, and all of them. And for the most part, it will be like that until you get to the major leagues. When you make it to the major leagues, you'll have a little bit of say in what goals that you might be able to go for and pick and choose. It won't be until after that first year that you'll have a lot more of a say in exactly what goals and what kind of goals that you'll actually want for either a 10-day span, for a month, for the whole year, or I think they even said potentially some that are like day-to-day goals as well. They wanted to give you more of these goals as things to strive for in each of the years as you're trying to get yourself to where you get more awards and you build yourself up for the potential to go into the Hall of Fame. That is the whole crux of what they want to do with this, is the ability to actually get into the Hall of Fame and have the whole ceremony and everything of that nature. One thing that you will need to watch out for is that if you do actually fail your goals, you will get negative effects, such as losing points towards your potential. Obviously, you don't want your potential to go too low, and being able to do well and being able to be consistent will keep your potential up. So you want to keep that up as much as you can, as high as you can. Another thing that they went over is the fact that they understand that you're not probably going to want to sit there and play through every single game. And even for those people who don't play every single game, when you happen to sim in the past, you weren't getting anything out of it. So either you sim, which is just normally saving you time, or you play through every game, which in that case, you actually get rewards for doing well. Well, now they added a thing where instead of that, what you're able to do is you can sim, but it will actually give you rewards for how well you do during your sims. Also, while you're simming, if you happen to be getting close to a goal and you're not quite there yet, or you happen to be going up against a rival or a rival team, it will give you the option to just pause the sim and then hop into the game or games. And then you can do that, hop right back out, and then continue on the sim if you so choose to do so. And even going beyond that, you have more of an ability to change and control your own destiny in this mode. You can request a trade off your team if you don't really vibe with everything. You can change your positions if, let's say, a really good player is blocking you and you want a better chance of potentially getting called up. Or in the chance that you just want to focus on batting, you can become a full DH. You'll be able to do all these things by messaging either your manager, your agent. I think I saw you could also message your hitting coach. I'm sure if you're a pitcher, you can message your pitching coach, and I'm sure there's probably a few other people that you might be able to message throughout the experience. And then the last really major thing that I saw was that when you're trying to get yourself called up to either AAA or the majors, you're going to be able to see a little bar that kind of shows you how close you are to be able to be moved up, or whether or not your club actually sees you as being worthy of being able to be moved up. And it'll also have things that will be able to allow you to see yourself in comparison to the player that you're trying to take over. It'll show the differences in the stats of what you're better at, what they're better at, what maybe you two are more or less the same in as. And you'll also be able to see how your performance compares to that player as well. Admittedly, when I played through the Road to the Show mode in 25, I had my fun with it, especially in the college years and the high school, and slowly building myself up through the minors. However, I think that the things that they added this year are going to make that better. Is there more that they can add to this? Absolutely. Of course there is more that they can add to this, especially after you get into the majors and go through all of those years leading up to the potential Hall of Fame. But at the same time, is this, in my opinion, a much better version of Road to the Show comparatively to last year? I'd also say yes to that. Seeing all these things is actually making me want to sit down and play through Road to the Show, whether I play as a pitcher or a hitter or 2A, or one of those times I could be a full DH. Having the ability to do all these different things, whether you play normally, whether you want to sim a little bit and still get rewarded for it, and not have to sit there and worry about the possibility of having to play through every single game just to be able to get the rewards, I think is a nice thing for this. So that's all I wanted to say for this. They said that next week is going to be focusing on the presentation. They also mentioned that there's going to be some stuff for WBC that they wanted to talk about. There's also the Negro Leagues that they wanted to talk about. So next week's going to have a few different things, and I will be here just like I am now for that. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all for that.